What's up, fellow Age Groupies? Welcome to another episode of the Age Groupies Podcast, part of the United WeCast Network. I'm Mike Ergo, and along with my co-host Lindsay Hiken, we're here to talk to you about all things related to endurance sports from an amateur athlete perspective. We talk about how to have fun along the way and make the sport a little less intimidating. You all can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join the Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us, agegroupies@gmail.com. If you guys like the show, please leave us a rating and review on iTunes or those other places people get podcasts. All right, guys, enjoy the episode. Let's get to it.
Hey, Mike. What's up?
Well, I'm just sitting in my car right now, so my family doesn't wake up, and I'm talking to you. So it's a good day.
Awesome. Are you appropriately sequestered somewhere?
I am on an island, which seems ideal at first, but then when the disease spreads to this island, then
Not going to be ideal.
Yeah, everything's shut down. But who's going to be the first one to say it between you and me?
What's it?
Oh, the thing that everyone's been talking about this entire last 2 weeks.
The COVID-19 shutdown?
Yeah.
Yeah. So listeners, we are doing a quick, short episode this week on the fly because, of course, I'm in the Bay Area and we are in mandatory shelter in place. And Mike took his attempted to take his family on a vacation. First it was Disneyland, and that was a no. And then it was Hawaii, and that's now a little shut down. So hopefully to bring a little bit of levity to your day as you sit inside your house. Yeah. So how are you feeling about it, Mike?
You know what? It takes a lot to faze me. If anything, when things get serious, I get zoned in a little more. Mm-hmm. And so I'm pretty good, but I'm definitely noticing the panic, noticing kind of the heightened, if it's not full blown panic, I'm noticing the tension, in the air. You can tell when you look at people's eyes.
Yeah.
You can tell people's body language, their posture. And I especially notice it because, so my little boy, he has a cough. And it's not the kind of cough with his virus, but it's like a phlegmy kind of cough you get when you're cold. Like he's 3. Yeah. They get colds like every week.
Yeah.
So he's got that. And then I see every time he coughs and we're out in public, people, like hold their breath or you see their assholes puckering like, whoa.
Yeah. So, I'm also not a panicker, and I'm not panicked. I do think that this is a very serious thing. My heart goes out for all of the people that are suffering, either because they're sick or a loved one is sick or a loved one has passed away from it, but also just from all of the economics, like blowback from this. For me, nothing changes. My company was set up so that we could work from home and when we wanted to anyway. And so now we just all are. And so I don't have any disruption, to my income or even my work schedule, other than I'm doing it at home all the time with 2 Jack Russells, Yeah,
I saw that.
Exactly. So, Josh is in the real estate industry, which is a little up and down. Of course, right now it's down, but he works for a company that pays them a base salary on top of their commission, and they just doubled their salary for this period. So he's good. So we're all good, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who are not going to be all good. And I do really feel bad for them. That said, I'm personally not super panicky. I do want to get this. And I do feel like after talking to a girlfriend of mine, it's our civic duty to shelter in place so that we can hopefully get this over with and end it. That's the main thing for me. I'm not so much afraid of people or getting it as I am wanting to participate in the community to get a handle on it, because there are people who are really financially and physically as all of this. and it's not me, but I can keep myself inside. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing I can do is not make it worse.
I hear you. Can we talk about the real important thing here? These memes are fucking gold. These are the best memes I think we've ever had in the history of internet memes.
I will say that although the internet can be a terrible, scary place to be, it can also like step up during times of crisis to just bring humor. And like, I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get to the nail salon, before the mandate came down to shelter in place. And I'm like, I am going to have like eagle talons and a Prince mustache by the time this thing's over with. And she sent me a bunch of memes of like, just, some girl post on Instagram, like, it's 4 pictures. One of her, it's like an eyebrow that goes all the way across, huge grown out roots, these fake nails that have grown way out. And then like her fake eyelashes are just like 2 left and the rest of her eyelash is like short. It's like me coming out of quarantine. And
exactly.
God, they're so good.
They're so good. I've even created a few of my own. Don't mean to brag too much, but I texted my friends. So I had a coworker, Italian, like, an Italian, talks with his hands, like real passionate about things. And I texted him a picture because it's of me with like a pineapple pizza. And I said, what's worse for Italy right now? COVID-19 or the fact that people like me eat this? And he loses his fucking mind anytime he sees pineapple on pizza. So if nothing else, coronavirus was worth it just for that.
Maybe I'm Italian because I effing hate a pineapple on pizza.
Well, you got a meme coming your way soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's the internet can be so good. There's that, I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's of Kermit the Frog. But it's like a video and he's dancing to he's got a glass of wine in his hand. Oh my God. I laughed for like an hour about that thing.
Yeah, when you're on day 2 of quarantine, but bottle 8 of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how glad are you that you're not drinking now? Like if I was having to be quarantined and still a drunk, no.
I do enough dumb shit sober, so.
Exactly. I'm fully capable of being an idiot without a drink, but pour some alcohol in here and then also lock me indoors. It would just not be.
But that's the big thing about booze. Then you run out and then you have to go get more.
Oh God.
Right?
Then you get a DUI and then you're like in jail where you're like all up on people.
Yeah, quarantine. Yeah, exactly. You solitary confinement, motherfucker.
Okay, so now that we've covered that, we acknowledge that people really are suffering and that we're not really suffering right now. Let's talk about our own personal pain, which is our training schedules have been changed or canceled or whatever, and our some of our races are getting canceled. And with the triathlon community, it is sort of like the end of the world. Like people aren't panicking because they're worried about getting sick or that they're like, oh my God, my job. They're they're panicked because they're like, what do you mean? This race is canceled.
I hear it. I've had 2 races, soon to be 3 canceled. I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, rock and roll half marathon.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Rosa half Ironman. See you later. And then I'm waiting for Escape from Alcatraz in San Francisco to be canceled.
Oh yeah, that's done.
That's in June, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I got an email from Trans Rocky saying they're going to keep an eye on it, but just kind of putting out a warning shot. It's in August, but I think the company that produces it has other races in advance that they're missing. And I don't know if it's just going to be like an economic impact thing that they're not going to be able to, pull it off. I'm not sure, but I'm it's like, okay, well, if that's what's got to happen, that's what's got to happen, and there's literally nothing we can do about it. That said, I think it'll be important for us to participate in events that do go off this year, because I think a lot of those production companies are going to be taking a hit, obviously, economically. So let's not worry about what we missed. Oh, I can't, this race, Like, let's figure out after things settle down and their events are going on, like what, especially like local, smaller production companies doing triathlons or trail races or road races or whatever, you know, in your area, like go support those this season. Like,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they may not, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if they missed 3 of their big races at the beginning of the year, like they may not make it if we don't support.
Yeah, and also let's not flood the inboxes of these race directors and people asking them questions and
Yeah, they'll let you know.
Wondering about it. Yeah, they'll fucking let you know. Okay. CTFO.
I know. We can be
Right.
so, as a group, triathletes can be a little bit obnoxious.
Speaking as an ambassador of the sport of triathlon, we
Oh, that's right.
typically are very type A, very
Yeah.
fucking anal and annoying. And what are the other qualities of
A little self-involved.
self-involved?
like, is my race going to go off? Meanwhile, this local race director's like, is my company going to go under, and am I going to be able to feed my children? You know what I mean? Like, but let's let his inbox, because I need to know if I should
already
be
measured
training.
the place on my wall. I have the place on my wall where I need this, finisher photo to be up there for my medal that says, "Look at me, I did this."
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that my plan is to continue to train to the extent that I can. Obviously, I'm focusing this year on trail running, so very easy to go out in the woods by myself and do that. So that's what I'm doing. My strength training, although I was using equipment in the gym for my strength training that I obviously don't have access to now, I've just adjusted that a little bit. And this time is actually probably good for my...
Hey, Mike, did I ever tell you about the time I went to a popular cycling studio and it was super bizarre? I was dressed like regular scumbag trainer clothes and everyone else had on, matching Lululemon, full face of makeup. And the instructor kept yelling, "Ladies, let's dance," which I had no idea what she was talking about. I was like,
That's so weird.
Let's dance. Are we riding? Anyway, that all happened because I was trying to maintain cycling fitness during the winter.
Yeah, winter months are tough. Days are shorter. It's cold. It's rainy. Takes a lot of extra time to gear up, and a lot of those rides are going to get canceled anyways because it's going to be too dangerous outside. Anyways, I spent a lot of my time indoors training, even during the summer months, just because I got small kids and I want to get this training done early. I also love group classes, but I spend majority of my time training alone in my garage. That can be pretty boring. So we have a way for our listeners to make that training during the off season or during the winter months or whenever you want really exciting. CycleCast app provides studio quality classes for both indoor cycling and running.
Awesome. Who needs to see a bunch of other weirdos on spin bikes anyways? We need an instructor who has an ear for music that will get us hammering those pedals and a ride plan that keeps us engaged during long trainer sessions.
Yes, I finally tried it, and it's exactly what I got from CycleCast. So they use music through your phone in this app, which works for Android. It works for iOS, so it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have. It uses minimal data, minimal battery power, and it's your phone. You bring it everywhere you go. So you got classes from different instructors at different lengths. It doesn't matter what time of day or night you're doing it. You can do it all on your own schedule.
That's awesome. Plus, the running programs are both indoor and outdoor, which is huge for me as I train for Trans Rockies this year. I'm doing a combination of treadmill and trail, and the treadmill is about as exciting as the trainer. So this is definitely helping me make those sessions more engaging. And as our gift to Age Groupies listeners, we have an awesome promo. Go to cyclecast.com/activate and enter the code GROUPIES to get a 30-day free trial on top of the regular 7-day free trial. That's like 5 weeks of free stuff, y'all. That's cyclecast.com/activate, CYCLECAST. Don't forget to use the promo code GROUPIES, GROUPIES. CycleCast. You're going to love where this app takes you.
Body, because I've been having some overuse injuries crop up again. I've decided that this 21 days of, or however long we are going to end up being sequestered, I'm going to do a little challenge of doing daily yoga. So I may go out and do my run or whatever too, but I'm doing a little daily yoga challenge. It's actually a yoga meditation challenge. So I do like 15 minutes of yoga, 15 plus. So maybe half an hour, maybe 45, maybe an hour, but at least 15. And then 10 minutes of seated meditation right afterwards in the morning. And that seems to be doing the trick. Makes me feel like, you know what I mean? Just makes me feel like, okay, I've gotten my act together a little bit emotionally,
well,
mentally. Yeah.
The breathing is so important to just chill the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Jump back into like, okay, let's take a step back from the news just for a second, and then realize that, okay, we're here, everything's relatively okay. So that's cool. Yeah, I have a kettlebell and I have a sandbag, and I'm going to fucking haze myself with those in a loving way. I love
loving hazing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when your dog kind of nips, but it doesn't like to play. It doesn't draw blood. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
that's a loving bite. I'm gonna do the same thing to myself with my sandbag and the kettlebell. That you get some great workouts and do some burpees. And there's so many kind of different calisthenics that I learned while I was a member of the United States Marine Corps. A lot of indoor training. I just got Zwift. I'm gonna try that out.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I haven't done that before, so I've just watched movies. Usually I'm on my trainer watching. What am I watching? I'm watching The Pacific, which is the Marines, and listening to some like doom metal or something like really heavy while I watch like Marines stack bodies.
Oh my gosh.
Something that makes me pedal faster. Be like, I gotta get that beach.
You and I are very different, Mike. I have been on the trainer. I will watch either
Lifetime movies.
Well, no, God, no, not quite that. But I'll watch like British procedural like mysteries on Netflix or like Agatha Christie stuff.
What's your cadence like when you do that? Because if I was watching that, my cadence would be dropping down to like 15.
And we wonder why my ride on my bike leg of Ironman Santa Rosa was the speed that it was.
If you can keep a cadence over 60 watching Agatha Christie and like British like procedural dramas and shit like that, that's an iron mind right there. That is impressive. So I'm actually tipping my hat right now.
That's the official term for my Ironman cadence. Agatha Christie pace.
Agatha Christie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe I'll try some death metal next time and see what happens.
Yes, it's good stuff.
Awesome. So you are gonna next week for the listeners. Mike is gonna drop an episode with his coach talking about walking him through his training plan for while he's inside. So I think that'll give you guys more like ideas and what you could do.
Yeah, Nick he's been on our show before, and he's gonna break it down what we can do, the things we can do, so we can take a step back from looking at the things we're missing out on or what's different or how we're limited, and look at our possibilities. And that is so key in a situation, because what kills more than any kind of danger is the panic and looking at how you feel trapped instead of looking at the possibilities and what your next move is. Yeah. So it also applies to our level of satisfaction. There's so much shit we can do.
The panic, I mean, yes, there's general panic in our culture right now about this, but as an athlete, the panic for me is I'm going to lose all the fitness I've gained. I'm going to, not be able to like get it back because I'm going to, and then there's also the part of like, this is a regular part of my existence is to get a lot of exercise, and to be a little more sequestered in the house is a challenge just because my body's used to moving more than it has been lately.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hear you. And I also remember 7th grade, Mrs. Tosher, my PE teacher, instrumental in teaching me how to do step aerobics. And I still remember most of those moves. And I still remember breaking a sweat and feeling good. So it's so many things we can do.
I was a aerobics instructor in the early 90s. So just FYI.
Did you ever do jazzercise?
I didn't do jazzercise, was a tiny bit before my time, but I did step. I taught step, and then just regular like.
We need these pictures of you teaching step aerobics in the 90s, because
I mean, leotard, like, tights, leg warmers, Reebok high tops,
this
and
is
giant
a must.
hair.
Sweatbands?
Of course. What do you think this is? And did it match my outfit?
Nice.
Well, and by the way, the leotards were the ones that were like really high cut up on the sides.
Oh,
so it was
yeah.
almost and sometimes they'd have a belt because I need that shit belted.
Yeah, you need it belted. Of course.
Belt my
Definitely.
spandex.
I know. Those were definitely 100% function over fashion, right?
Right.
Well, Age Groupies can look forward to seeing these pictures and
I don't
remember the 90s and say, oh my God, at least it's not that right now.
I don't think I have any pictures of me doing. I mean, the lovely thing about being the age I am is that none of this shit, there were no, like camera phones. So like, I never thought bring a camera to the class, but I
True.
will post a picture of an outfit that I had because I'm sure I can find one.
Sounds good. Yeah. So let's talk about the other things that we'll be doing just to keep our sanity. One thing, and this is something that is talked about sometimes, but I don't think practiced very often. The one thing that is so underrated is communicating with people and expressing appreciation and gratitude. And it's one of my rituals for race week. And I like to do it just in general with people I care about. But I do it especially during race week because it's a big part of why I race and what I'm about. I text someone and tell them that I appreciate them, use my own words, what I like about them, and thanking them just for being who they are and being in my life.
Awesome.
And that feels so good. It feels like I'm just supercharged after that, and it gets me out of the funk, and it gets I think other people out of the funk. I've been trying to do that with the people I know in the race community who are in charge of a lot of this stuff. Just imagining, the different triathletes emailing them, be like, I paid good money for this race, blah, 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 or whatever else, and saying, look, I don't know. I'm assuming you're getting a lot of crazy emails and texts and calls right now. I just want you to know that I appreciate you. I want you to know that you do so much for this community and you are making a positive impact in the world. That feels good. So I'm doubling down on that.
Awesome, Mike. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being part
Lindsay.
of my podcast. And I think it's been an amazing. We're coming up on a year anniversary together in a couple months as
nice
as podcast co-host, which is awesome. And it's been a good year of doing this, so I appreciate that. And
yeah, that will probably coordinate with our Facebook friend anniversary where they show that little like 2 pictures of people in a canoe together and like, memories and stuff.
Ooh, slideshow.
Exactly.
So listen, do you have anything else to talk about? Because I do need to go get to work. But I wanted to just, we wanted to reach out and say hey to our listeners and, hang in there, everybody, and take care of yourselves. And, we are going to get through this as a society and as a group and as a community of triathletes, and be looking, if you're bored, go online and look at like what local races are happening September, October, and November that you can participate in, because those little companies are going to need our support.
I got one thing to say. I have some fundraisers being canceled, of course, because they're in-person races. I'm going to host some virtual runs and virtual rides.
Oh, fun.
Fundraisers. So as soon as I figure out how to work Zwift and how to get us all together, I'm going to start doing that. So that is going to be fun. You can actually be part of something, be active, stay within the confines of your house, and be part of something that is a good cause, supporting Gold Star families and vets. So I'll let you guys know the details through this podcast and through our social media channels.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, safe travels home if you're coming home, and you're going to post that episode next week with your coach, and then we'll do another one together after that.
Okay, great. See you later.
Alrighty, that concludes today's episode of the Age Groupies Podcast with me, Lindsay Hiken, and my co-host, Mike Ergo. We really hope you enjoyed it.
You can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay, Hiken, and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us at agegroupies@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please leave a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, as this really helps us get more exposure while we try to grow this little venture. And of course, if you have friends you think might like the show, please be sure to share it with them. But for now, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.